Around 2:40 this afternoon, the Albany Police Department received a call for a person who inside the hospital who may have been in possession of a handgun. Our officers immediately responded. They coordinated with Albany Med Security. Lockdown procedures were put in place, and right now we're focused on a certain area of the hospital where this person was last seen. We're conducting an investigation. We know right now that there are no staff that are in harm's way. All patients are taken care of, and right now, again, we're just focused on this certain area of the hospital to determine if, in fact, there is a person there who may be in possession of a handgun. So this could take a little bit of while. I know there's a large police presence here. That is not ordinary for these types of circumstances. Obviously, we're dealing with a very large building with a lot of employees, and we have patients here. So right now, the hospital is on lockdown. All the patients are accounted for. All the patients are safe. Right now, all staff are accounted for, and all staff are safe. We are just focused on this certain area of the building, determine if, in fact, there is a person who may have been in possession of a handgun here this afternoon.
We are getting reports on that certain part of the building. Do you want to elaborate on that, or is that something that's still off the record at this point? Yeah, right now we're just going to, I don't want to get into too many details in the investigation, but this situation is completely isolated. Our officers are focused on one certain section of the building. But again, all staff in that building and all patients in that building have been accounted for and are safe.
So just a little bit more about what was going on inside. So we called a code Silver, which is a safety code that we have, as soon as we learn of any potential that there may be an armed assailant within the hospital. And within seconds, our staff moved very quickly to make sure that they were safe, their colleagues were safe, and patients were safe as well. So I can tell you at this time, the hospital is safe, patients are safe, and staff are safe as well. So patient care does continue behind us for the patients who are in the hospital right now. We have canceled some outpatient medical appointments for the afternoon, but you may have seen a helicopter landed earlier. We are still receiving patients as needed based on how critical their condition is, because we know we are the referral center for the Capital Region, and we know that our doors need to stay open for patients who need us, and the hospital is safe.
Can you go over what a code Silver is and the procedure that is entailed for that?
So a code Silver is called if there is a potential armed assailant in the hospital. There are a number of safety codes that we use every day in the hospital. At just about the time Steve mentioned earlier, at about 2:30, that code was called, and at that time staff moved into a safe place. Staff moved to work with patients as necessary to keep them in a safe place. This is something we train for all the time, particularly with Albany Police. We have a great relationship with Albany Police. We learn a lot from each other, and those drills that we plan for, we put into effect today to have a safe afternoon here at the hospital.
But you're still trying to locate the person.
Yeah, right now we're just focused on a certain area within the hospital to try to determine if somebody is in fact in that area. It could take a little while. We have highly trained police officers here. We have negotiators here. So hopefully, within the next couple hours we'll have more information and we'll be able to provide an update.
So what was the credible tip that made you call this lockdown for you guys to come out here?
We had a tip, and the tip was that somebody was inside this hospital who may have been in possession of a handgun. So right now we're trying to determine if somebody was in possession of a handgun at this hospital. Obviously, we want to err on the side of caution. A lockdown was immediately put in place, and we've already started our investigation in that specific area. So I can't get into too many specific details right now, but we will provide an update.
Are you able to share if the shots were fired? Was any evidence of that?
There were no shots fired.
Did that weapon get pulled on anybody, or was it just brandished as a threat?
Yeah, right now the investigation is still ongoing. That's something we'll determine throughout the investigation. So, but we'll be providing an update later once we have more.
Can you just give us a little detail into how you're sweeping the building? What the procedure that goes into sweeping a building of this magnitude?
Yeah, I don't want to get into too many specific details right now, but we are focused on a specific area right now within the hospital. The rest of the hospital, as Matt said, is operating as normal. Patients are being taken care of. All hospital staff are accounted for and are safe, and operations are still currently underway. So we'll provide more information when we have it, but right now the Albany Police Department, as long as our law enforcement partners are here, and we're going to just continue our investigations.
I saw some people waiting outside, so the emergency room is now open. People will come in.
The emergency room is on lockdown, but we'll be receiving patients as necessary based on the critical nature of their condition as they come in from various places. Another thing I want to mention is that we've got a lot of buildings down here. Some of our staff work in 22 New Scotland. That's also a clinic location. Those buildings, patients and staff can move in in and out of freely at this time.
Are any people getting diverted at this point? I know you said that certain people are being told that their procedures are not available to them today.
We have had to divert some ambulances, but again, if we're in touch with the ambulance crews throughout the community and there's a case that only can be handled here, we will take that patient. If there are other hospitals that may be able to step in for us, we certainly welcome that. We have a great relationship with St. Peter's and our other hospitals in the community, but if it's a case only we can do, we will accept that patient.
Is there anyone in that lockdown right now? Any people in there at that time? Any numbers you can give us?
Yeah, I don't want to get into too many specifics right now, but like again, we're just focused on one certain area, and no staff, no patients are in harm's way.